Sir, we keep saying that corporates are the partners that we have at RTIH are our real strength. How do we ensure that, what are we doing to ensure that corporates are co-builders in this journey with RTIH?
So I think Satish mentioned that capital chases talent. I think it's no different. Even corporates also chase good products, good companies, good services, good talent. So, in fact, everybody chases good talent and good money. So, there's no doubt about it. So, I think if you're talking about RTIH and the role of corporates, I think Lokesh Garu mentioned about ease of doing business. But when you mention about ease of doing business, I think the context is obviously mostly startups. How can we nurture startups faster? But I think, at least in Tata Group, what we say is, how do Tata companies become most attractive corporates for startups? That's what we try to do it. Can we do something so that we become the most attractive? Because we are there in almost every industry. We have thousands of problems. In fact, starting Monday, we are starting a program for shop floor workers and supervisors, asking them to identify problems which can be solved using AI. We are targeting about 15,000 shop floor workers in this month, to help them identify problems. Then we train them, and then we put them with mentors who have done AI projects in Tata companies, and try and see how we can scale. In fact, my team does a lot of work in identifying startups, giving them use cases. We publish use case every month on an open website. Startups apply, participate, we discuss, and then when it comes to giving an opportunity to startup, we find there are a little bit of rough edges. It could be, most of them are due to legal systems and stuff like that, which I don't want to go into details, but we are trying to solve it. So I think we can accelerate this journey if we can have an equivalent of 3PL, for example, since you are here. Can we have a 3PL for startups to ride on and do some use cases in corporates, which can de-risk the whole thing? So this is a big problem. De-risking to work with startup is a big subject. It's not an easy, but I think there's a role that 3PL can play here, equivalent to 3PL, not really 3PL, but I'm just drawing a parallel. So corporates are hungry. If there is something that we can do to bridge the gap between this hunger of corporates and those barriers that I'm talking about, I think we can accelerate a lot when it comes to helping this vision of one family, one entrepreneurship. And let me go to our very similar to what we've been talking about HCM's vision. Our chairman, he participates. He sort of when it comes to, I talked about recognizing failures. There's one of those years when we didn't have any award for the failure. So there's one evening in which there are about 15 awards given. There are 15,000 nominees, and there are 15 awards, so 1 per 1,000. More difficult than IIT JEE Advanced or JEE Mains to win an award in Tata Innovation Ecosystem. So there was no award for Dare to Try, and he was quite upset. He said, I'm very unhappy. While we have given 14 awards, but for me the most favorite award is Dare to Try, which means there is something which is missing. Why are people not trying bold ideas? So there was a message, and that is a message. And when we have leaders like HCM and our chairman, and I think, as I said, we all can come together and help their vision, accomplish that vision of our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Just to add to that, for any of you who's curious as to what the 17 plus partners that are working with RTIH today are doing, they are literally leading the whole initiative, driving it on themselves. We have corporate innovation challenges wherein, as Mr. Arora just mentioned, corporates throw their problem statements open for startups to work on, that then go on to become procurement channels and work orders for startups. They're also trying to open up their test beds, their labs, so that startups can have access to the data sandboxes that they can work on. They are also anchoring certain sectors across our hub and spoke network. And also imagine the best people in the corporates that are coming in now as mentors in the RTIH network. So we're really grateful for all the support that we're getting, sir, from the corporate and the knowledge partner network that we have in RTIH. Mr. Rajesh, we come back to you now. You've mentioned how it's so important to create hero startups. So we do have a lot of startup founders now working. So what can RTIH and Government of AP now do to help them in their scale journey?
I think, if the startups are created, right, I think that, I'm being very, very, upfront and obvious here that they really don't need much of help. Just to be around them and ensure that we're not doing anything stupid that they really, say ki I'm bumming Vizag and I'm moving out of here. So I think getting something created is actually, so basically, let's say assuming startups begin, let's say assuming 100 startups or let's say 1,000 startups, begin, right? Getting to the first institutional raise and getting to something really working, right? That, that fall is the highest. Probably 1,000 may say, less than 10 or 7 or 8 will get there. Once it's working, the chances of these companies probably, IPOing maybe 30 to 40%, right? So literally after it's created, after the founders know what they want to do, how to figure things out, etc. I think, letting them be and not disturbing them too much is how I will put it as. And if they come to you guys for help, figure it out or at least act like you're helping so that they tell the good things about you guys, right? Yeah.
Point taken. We're just going to let them be if they already started up and doing well.
Yeah. You'll land me up in trouble, boss.
Mr. Satish, sir. So you're already helping us do this, but I just wanted it to come from you. The Alternative Investment Fund, especially a state-backed AIF that we're trying to build. What kind of design principles do we put in place so that the private capital is not hesitant to invest in that?
Yeah. I know Bhaskar Garu is here, is very actively, obviously working on this, and it's been a dream of Lokesh Garu also. So I think first thing we need to do is make sure that it's privately run and it's neutral, right? And it's very focused. The most important thing is that a lot of states do a mistake of course, we need to create a fund to support entrepreneurs in the state, that's important. But also to create that escape velocity and to create the success, we should be a bit more flexible. One of the things we could do is that if you have significant operations in AP, right? Even the founding team could be in Bangalore, could be in Hyderabad, could be in Chennai, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying all of them, a portion of them. If they have significant operations in AP, right? A small piece of the fund could be allocated to them. So I think when we create a platform like that today, if you really look at Startup India took birth 10 years ago, a 10,000 crore allocation by government, Honorable Prime Minister, all credit to the Commerce Department, right? DPIIT. The 10,000 crore had a multiplier effect of another 10. So 100,000 crores went into the startup ecosystem, right? So very similarly now, if you look at, there's a deep tech fund, there's an AI mission, there's a quantum mission, there is RDI fund of 1 lakh crores that is recently announced. So there are several initiatives. There is Self-Reliant India, which is an MSME fund. That's again another 10,000 crores. One of the things we need to do is leverage all of these schemes. State will definitely contribute and the private investors will contribute. But let's make it a neutral platform, privately run and run for profit and run on merit primarily, right? So that it'll only grow and become really big. I think that's the plan. And, that's the structure. All of you and Bhaskar Garu, everybody is kind of putting into place. And I believe that, like I said, we should have at least 3 funds or 4 funds, from my perspective. We should have an innovation fund. I think there are some ideas, how do we jumpstart innovation? Like you talked about, speed of business is the tagline of AP today. We talk about a lot of deep tech stuff.